What's going on?
I mean, I remember Reese Witherspoon was like obsessed with you at the time. Like,
still.
Yeah, it still is.
You're like, where people get tripped up, all of society gets tripped up because we are taught and told and fed that success is the same as happiness. And so therefore, we chase success hoping to be happy. And then when you are successful and you get all your success, you start to think that, well, why am I not happy? What's cool is like, because someone could argue like, we have a successful show.
Yeah.
Right? But that has nothing to do with why I'm happy. I'm happy because I meditate every morning. I'm not on social media a ton. I've curated my community around me. I have no issue setting boundaries. I know that I have to take life as it comes, and that I'm going to be both happy and sad, and I should embrace both when they happen. Well, it's interesting because it's interesting. I don't know, like I work a nice amount. Right now, I'm working on season 8 and Legacy Talk, the second season of that. And technically, I don't get paid to do Legacy Talk. I'm doing a play that nobody paid me to write, but it's the most exhilarating thing I've ever done. The thing is I'm working. Out of those 3 things, I'm only getting paid to do one of those things, technically. But I'm being fed by Legacy Talk. I'm being fed by the play, and I'm being fed literally and figuratively by the shy. What can't happen is if you say, hey, I chose rest over going the extra mile, then I can't resent the person for getting where they got a little bit sooner than me because they made a different choice. Quote from like Donald Glover, it was a GQ, and I don't want to paraphrase it, but it was like, I was still living in Chicago at the time, so it was a while ago, obviously. But he said, I don't want to be the guy that everybody likes. If everyone's doing it, then there's a fear to speak about what is true. At the end of the day, I don't need everybody to love everything I do. I need to love it. Not for everybody to go, yeah, I loved it. Me too. Yeah. What do you want people to take away from this movie? Or take away whatever they bring to it. There's a reason why most folks have plans to go to have dinner after a show. Dinner and a show. What's cool about Legacy Talk is that we only talk about, as if people have seen it, if they have, that we really just talk about the career. It's very influenced by, Inside the Actors Studio, and in terms of speaking about certain roles, how those roles came to them, why they made certain decisions. I was so curious how much of her career was crafted by her, how much of it was sort of crafted by God, because for her to be where she was at that time, like a Captain Hot Tier Roof ready to go, it's like Debbie Allen sees her and is like, yes, come be on a different world. And obviously the Hughes brothers, I'll say, yeah, come be in Menace to Society. And F. Gary Gray is like, come be and Set It Off. Those movies and those directors at that time were like, oh, you're what we need for this thing. And so I think that to me is really interesting because the journey is we don't really have a ton of control over. We have control over how we're willing to lean in, but it's about when those opportunities come, how much are we willing to step up and say, I don't care what's going on in my life. I'm going to rise to the occasion and do this because this is my destiny. So there are some people, that's the thing about Legacy Talk. I mean, a lot of these people are like, they're not elders, if you will. They're still aunts, some of them. But it's like, it's important to document these conversations because a conversation that was also very much inspired this was the conversation between Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin. Nikki is very young. I mean, she's in her like 20s, and she asked Ellis Hazlitt, queer Black man who had a show called Soul! Really beautiful documentary about his life. He was cool with all the young poets and he was talking to Nikki Giovanni and he said, who do you want to talk to? She was like, Jimmy Baldwin. And she was like, I'm cool with him. I can make it happen. He lives in London. We'll fly you out. And so they did. And I stumbled upon that conversation on YouTube after we had just wrapped Queen and Slim. And so it was almost this interesting gift because I was like, damn, I wish I would have seen this while I was, because it's the whole thing. Queen and Slim was almost a conversation between men and women and this whole thing. But in essence, I think God brought it to me after to say, you are a part of this lineage too. This is about a dialogue between two people who may not always see things exactly the same way, but yet can still meet somewhere in the middle and still find peace. Highkey about theater. And I think I'm high key on meditation for sure. meditation. Like I do. Here's the deal. And some people may feel like this is an extreme amount, and I don't encourage people to start this way. I have to work my way up. But I meditate for an hour every morning.
What does that mean? You're just sitting there for an hour?
Yeah, sitting quietly.
In one space, you're not moving?
Yeah, no, you don't move. I don't think there's any, I don't believe in rules for meditation. You meditate however you need to do it. But I think for me, because the mission is to hear myself, quiet is important for me. And the thing that sort of happened is a person will come up, a person will cross my mind or my spirit. And I turn my phone on. I'll then often text or reach out to them. Hey, you came up for me this morning in my meditation. And it's happened about 90% of the time. They'll say, oh my God, I was thinking of you yesterday. Your ears ringing? Like I mentioned you this morning.
Yeah.
And I always say, oh, I just wanted to hit you. And they're like, okay, well, thank you. And how are you? I'm like, I'm well. How are you? And so for me, whenever that happens, I always say, oh, it's okay. We're tapped in. And so I think we live in a world full of noise, so we can't hear our own voices. And as you realize how much we are distracting ourselves from ourselves. It doesn't have to be quiet for you to get quiet. Oh. Places that are not my home, and places where I don't have control over the environment. And those are often the best meditative hours. So even if there's music playing or someone's talking, what it does is it reminds me that it's okay for that to be happening. Have mind over matter. And for me to get quiet, if you see, like you say, like on social media, right? Like everybody will say, oh, this person we coming after today. I'm looking at the group of people coming after the one, not the person they coming after. Because I like to scrutinize scrutiny. Ooh. What is everybody doing? And then not to be a contrarian. This is a desire for people to belong to something, even if it's something that isn't kind. They'd rather belong to something that isn't grace or kind or warm than to feel as if they are on the outside. And that to me is educational. So it's like, oh, you'd rather be a part of the mob than be chased by one. It's a desire to belong. And so then what happens is, then it's like, what is everyone's taste actually?